Hey guys, welcome back. The top 3 most rare coins worth money, rare mint mistakes, unique varieties, and a wild backstory that involves US minting history, show you real auction sales, and teach you how to check your coin for a jackpot.a coin shrouded in mystery, born out of an experimental minting process, and highly sought after by collectors. Well, don't blink because the 2000p Sakagawa dollar error coin is very real, extremely rare, and today, it's turning ordinary people into treasure hunters. In fact, one of these incredibly rare 2000p Sakagawa error coins originally minted for just $1 sold for over $192,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. That's not a typo. $192,000 for a coin released this century. Background: the Sakagawa dollar coin was introduced in the year 2000 to replace the widely unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar. The U.S. Mint wanted a coin that was more distinguishable from the quarter, more durable, and that would honor a prominent figure from American history. The mule error, the $192,000 coin, and now for the jaw-dropper, one of these 2000p Sakagawa mule error coins was sold at auction in 2022 for a record-breaking $192,000. Other specimens have sold for $50,000, $70,000, and even 6 figures, depending on condition and provenance. That makes this coin rarer than most ancient coins, despite being minted in the 21st century. 2000p Wounded Eagle error. Look for a raised eye gouge that runs through the eagle's body on the reverse side. Value: $500 to $7,500, depending on condition. 2000p Cheerios dollar. Value: $2,500 to $10,000 plus in mint condition. Off-center strikes. Sakagawa dollars from 2000 with severe off-center strikes can be worth hundreds or thousands. Value: $500 to $3,000 depending on severity and eye appeal. Double-struck or broad-struck coins. Errors where the coin is struck more than once or without the proper retaining collar. These can produce a bloated appearance or show multiple images overlapping. Value: $1,000 to $5,000 plus. How to tell if you have one? Real auction prices and millionaire finds. Here are real auction results for some of the most sought-after 2000p Sakagawa dollar error coins. 2000p Mule Error, MS66BCGS, sold for $192,000. 2000p Cheerios dollar, PR68, sold for $10,560. 2000p Wounded Eagle, MS67, sold for $7,050. Off-center strike Sakagawa dollar, sold for $3,500. Double-struck 1000p dollar, sold for $4,900. These aren't isolated incidents. Collectors and dealers around the world are constantly watching auctions like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, and great collections for these coins. In some cases, people have found these coins in circulation, in old coin rolls, or even tucked away in change jars. Stop what you're doing right now because you could be holding a coin in your hand that's worth thousands, maybe even $10,000 or more. That's right, we're talking about one of the most misunderstood and overlooked U.S. coins ever made, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. It was supposed to be just another coin in your change. But for sharp-eyed collectors and lucky treasure hunters, this coin can be a golden ticket literally hidden in plain sight. The birth of the SBA dollar, the Susan B. Anthony dollar, was launched in 1979, and it marked the first time a real woman, not an allegorical figure, was placed on U.S. circulating currency. It was a revolutionary step, but it came with problems. But little did anyone know, among those coins were hidden rare and valuable errors, especially from the Denver Mint, aka the D Mint mark. And today, those errors have become a collector's obsession. Key 1979D errors to look for. 1979D wide rim error near date. Value: in high grades, this variety has sold for $1,000 to $2,500 at auction. In MS67 or higher, values can go even further, especially if the coin is beautifully struck and well preserved. 1979 to Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on a nickel planchette. Value: these wrong planchette errors have fetched $5,000 to $10,000 plus, depending on condition and rarity. Off-center strikes. Value: A 1970-90 off-center SBA dollar with at least 50% off can go from $1,000 to over $5,000, especially if you can still see the date and mint mark. Double strikes and die caps, value. These can command $1,000 to $7,500, and sometimes way more if the error is dramatic and visually unique. Auction sales, real money for real errors. 1979 SBA struck on nickel planchette, sold for $9,775 at heritage auctions in pristine condition. 1979 off-center error, 55%, sold for $4,600 in APCGS MS64 holder. 1979 double strike error, sold for $3,200 with eye-catching doubling. These aren't hypothetical. These are real coins pulled from circulation, pocket change, or old coin jars. And they're making their owners thousands sometimes overnight. How to identify these coins at home? Check the rim. Look for the wide rim versus narrow rim varieties. Weigh the coin. Should be approximately 8.1 grams. If it's lighter, it might be struck on the wrong planchette. Visual inspection. Look for obvious errors, off-center strikes, doubling, missing elements. Use a loupe or microscope. Many error details are small. Zoom in. Certification. If you think you have a rare error, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading and authentication. What if I told you there's a 1960 for Lincoln penny so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable that fewer than a dozen are known to exist? A penny you could mistake for an ordinary cent unless you knew what to look for. A penny that doesn't just sell for hundreds or thousands, but has sold for $20,000, $35,000, even over $50,000. The historical context. The year 1964 was a whirlwind at the U.S. Mint. The country was facing a coin shortage. Silver was being hoarded. Vending machines weren't getting the coins they needed, and Congress was pressuring the mint to solve the problem. But here's the twist. No official SMS sets were released in 1964. Yet somehow, a small number of 1960 for Lincoln cents with SMS characteristics slipped out into the world. What exactly is a 1964 SMS penny? The 1964 SMS penny is not your ordinary coin. These pennies were struck using special dies with an unusual level of care. They are sharply struck with frosty, satin-like surfaces. Have a smooth, squared-off rim unlike regular 1960 for cents. Lack the typical coinage flaws or signs of mass production. Show strong detail on Lincoln's bust, beard, and coat. Often have an unusually strong strike on the reverse as well. Auction sales, real prices, real fortunes. Heritage Auctions 2019, a PCGS SP68, RD 1964 SMS Lincoln penny sold for a whopping $31,200. Stacksbowers 2021, another example in stunning condition, brought $18,600. Legend Rare Coin Auctions 2022, one sold for $54,625 in SP68 RD, currently one of the highest known sales. These aren't just high-end collector's coins. These are grail pieces, and they're still being hunted to this day. How to tell if you have a 1964 SMS penny? Satin finish. Unlike the shiny mirror-like proof, SMS coins have a soft, satiny glow. Sharp strike, strong definition in Lincoln's hair, jawline, and coat lapel. Square rim, crisp edge, unlike business strike coins with a more rounded appearance. No mint mark. Like all 1960 for cents, there's no D or S on the coin. No contact marks. These coins are unusually clean for their era, often showing only minimal bag marks or scratches. If your 1960 for penny shows all of these features, you could be looking at an ultra-rare SMS specimen, and you should send it to PCGS or NGC immediately for verification. Why values keep rising? Extremely low population. Less than 20 known examples. Unexplained origin. The mystery makes them irresistible to collectors. Historical significance. Bridge between proof coins and the SMS era. Demand outpacing supply. Every time one sells, it sets a new record. These factors combine to make the 1964 SMS Lincoln cent one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever discovered.